When I first went to the United States, I pursued my PhD in physics and astronomy. And that year, I ranked #1 in the GRE examination in the world. So I got like 30 more scholarships from the American university. Because I travel to many countries and the people have different languages. And also the World Wide Web have the boundaries at that time among different territories. So that's why I want to build a one world, one web, so that people from different countries, languages, they can communicate cross-lingually. That's why I coined Web 3.0 in 2003.
Henry, thank you so much for being here. So I want to start with your childhood years. Where did you grow up? And what were you into as a kid? And how is it like growing up in your household?
So I was born in Shanxi province, Taiyuan, in China. And from a little kid, actually my parents, and they educated me in a way that when I grow up, I think the vision of connectivity and consensus was coined in my gene. So I mean, for the past experience and everything I have done, I have studied, I have learned, I have experienced, is closely related to what I'm doing now. And this mission is connect the unconnected and bank the unbanked. But everything behind it is a long path and have the destination. So that's after like so many years. So I think it's something like coded and in my gene. And a lot of people actually gather together and to do this mission. So when I grow up, I actually attended Beijing University, probably the best university in China, and in the most difficult major called physics, which is ranked #1 and in China. And after the graduation from Beijing University, actually I wrote songs and I compose music. So I built my own bands called the Migrant Bird. Okay, so not only study physics, but I like the art, the music, and I'm also a painter. So I got the secondary award and in the Beijing University. So that's why I actually study physics, which is very objective, but I like to communicate with people and get this connectivity. So that have changed a lot, and for my major. So physics studied universe, but my interest actually deal with people. So that's why, when I first went to the United States, I pursued my PhD in physics and astronomy department. And that year, I ranked #1 in the GRE examination in the world. I mean, in the world ranked #1. So I got like 30 more scholarship from the American universities. I chose Northwestern. And later, I transferred to computer science department and in the Washington University in St. Louis. Later, I learned the founding father of internet graduated from Washington University in St. Louis. And he was born there, actually, in St. Louis. So there are so many coincidences in my life. But looks back, it's almost inevitable. It's just like Yanni, I met with you, right? And also for this token 2049, for this trip, I met so many people. It's just like inevitable we come together. For example, I met with a colleague of Tim Berners-Lee. Right? Tim is the founding father for World Wide Web. And his colleague, Henry, which almost have a exact name as me, and know about those histories. You know, when I was studying and pursue my PhD in the United States, at the same time, I'm working for a semiconductor company and in St. Louis. And when I try to transfer my major from physics, this objective science, to the computer connectivity network, and I'm figuring out what I should do. Okay, because I traveled to many countries at that time, and the people have different languages, and also the World Wide Web also have the boundaries at that time, and among different territories. So that's why I want to build a one world, one web, so that people from different countries, different languages, they can communicate cross-lingually. Okay, that's why I coined Web 3.0 in 2003. It's just been so early, and we start debating about Web 3.0. And later, Tim Berners-Lee adopted Web 3.0 for his semantic web. Okay, so that's the history about Web 3.0. And in his article published in 2008, and the clear definition of data ownership to users, dissemination and privacy is described. And I built a mover without boundary, and with the semantic web and Web 3.0, which I coined in 2003. So, but at that time there's no blockchain yet. Okay, the Bitcoin white paper coincidentally was published in 2008. So 5 years after I coined Web 3.0. Okay, but all those items to build the Web 3 and gradually and emerged like distributed ledger by Bitcoin, like a Lightning Network by Joseph Pong. And I talked with Joseph Pong about I can make offline payment, and with layer 2 plus mesh network, and he feels so amazed. And that's in the year of 2017, and in 2018, and we realized the offline payment. So because all those pieces needed for the value internet and Web 3.0 actually emerged in those years. So the ecosystem right now I'm building and put all those pieces together into a real use case scenario and put all this together. And we're going to realize it, deploy it, and in the Philippines. So we already tested in Singapore, the blockchain living lab. So SmartMesh is a public chain, and also photo network layer 2. Meshbox will be hardware get the mesh network and edge connected. And MetaLife as a Web3 application, decentralized social network, and for people to directly to use with their cell phones. So the whole ecosystem, and we are going to deploy early next year, and the test bed, and also the birthplace actually will be starting from the Philippines. So in previous article, I wrote about it's the value internet will boost, will boom from the Philippines and then to other emerging countries. So we see the coming of internet and Web 3.0.